Hey teens, I'm here to help you figure out how to put together your pre-writing. So take a look at this. It should only be a couple of minutes, and then it'll kind of give you a good idea of what I'm looking for. I want to be as clear as possible. That way, there's no misunderstanding on your guys' part. So I just want to kind of talk about one more time about this review of the literature thing. Okay. Now, what the review of the literature is because the people were a little kind of maybe confused yesterday exactly what we were doing with it. It's all it is a paragraph after your introduction where you kind of review all of the material that exists out there on the topic. So it's about informing you and your reader about what people believe about the topic. Okay, you want to show them that your thoughts don't exist in a vacuum and that they're all alone. You also want to provide context for your topic and demonstrate that other people share your opinion, because that's sort of important in building a case. But also that other people disagree because all of these topics are going to be contentious. All these topics have more than one side to it. And then finally, this creates a basis where you can kind of create your counter argument. That way, your counter argument doesn't really come out of nowhere. All right. So what we're going to do first is take a look at the template. Okay. We're going to do violence in video games for this example. It's going to be pretty simple. I'm going to kind of write in here now. I'm going to write kind of cruddy because I'm using a stylus and stuff like that. But I'm going to put violence in video games is my topic. Now, as you can see, I put my topic. It's not my belief. Okay, it's not my thesis. But my thesis would be what I want people to believe about the topic. And just for the sake of argument here, violence in video games. Ooh, that's bad. Does cause violence. And so that's what I'm trying to get people to believe by the time my essay is over. Now, we're ready for this review of the literature section. I'm going to actually delete everything I have there. I'm going to save it as a board, but I can come back to it. Yeah, there we go. But I'm going to kind of go down here and take a look at what I'm doing here. Now this part of it, this is not for your arguments. These are arguments that are from the other side and from other people. So what you're doing is go looking out there in the world and finding what are other people saying about the topic. That's when we go to procon.org. Okay. This website has been very, very helpful. Hopefully you guys have found some kind of worthwhile information on it. Now we're going to start with just my side, the side that I'm kind of going to go on, and I'm going to find an example of a primary source and a secondary source. Now this first one is perfect. This one right here, let me circle it. There you go. Okay. It basically says that according to the Journal of the American Medical Association, there is a link between violent video game playing and bullying. So that's kind of important. Let me just find another one real quick. I think I liked this one, yeah. Just to help my argument that many perpetrators of mass shootings did play violent video games, including those at Columbine. Now this one doesn't have the thing listed in it real quick, so I have to click on the source. And the source tells me this is from, and if you take a look at the top here, number 25, it's actually from the FBI. It is from 1999, so it's a little outdated, but at the same time, it's an FBI source and can be, really, really instrumental in building a case. So I'm going to put these back in my thing here. So the first one is that JAMA, the Journal, American Medical Association. That's my source. You don't have to go crazy putting the whole MLA citation or anything like that in here. And then all I'm doing is I'm putting just a really quick explanation of what they believe and what they're trying to show. And I'm saying there's a link between gaming and bullying behavior. It's not impossible to believe if you've ever been on the Xbox Live, right? Cool. And that's all you have to do. There's nothing more than that needs to go in there. I know I saw a lot of people like kind of filling up every little, square modicum, of space. Here's my next one. My next one's from the FBI. And just kind of the assessment that many school shooters and stuff like that play video games. Played violent games. Now, the first one's a primary source because it's from a famous medical journal, and it was a specific experiment they did. They found that a certain number of kids play violent video games, and then a certain number of kids experience bullying and stuff at school. All right, I'm just going to hurry up through the other part. I'm not going to fill in the other side, but I'm going to kind of show you how I would. So let me go back to this website. Let me take down this board because it's getting in my way. There we go. Oh no, it's getting everywhere. Oh, there we go. Gotta figure out how to use my stuff. Okay. So sales of violent video games have increased while violent juvenile crimes have significantly decreased. That's probably pretty awesome to look up. So I can actually kind of click on this little thing here, and it says that's from an article from the Psychology of Popular Media Culture. And they're citing all kinds of other things, so that's actually probably going to be my secondary source. Because obviously when you do kind of a meta-analysis like that, you're citing other people's statistics to figure that out. And then let me kind of go back into it. So that will work for one of them, and I liked this one as well. It studies claiming a causal link between video game violence and real-life violence are flawed. That one will work for me in my argument. All right, so I will fill in the right-hand side and be done with it. So all you're doing is putting just like where did you get your information and what did they believe. It's just to give you enough to write about afterwards. Now, here is where the meat of your essay will go. You can use arguments from the first bit. Okay, you're welcome to. There's nothing really stopping you. But it might be helpful to kind of pull your own out. So what this is all for here, this is just a normal essay. What's one reason why you believe what you believe? Okay? What's an example you can have to support it? It can be something anecdotal. It can be something specific that you've experienced. It can be something that you found in your research. Okay? Reasons why you believe it. You do it again down here. Another reason why you believe what you believe. Okay? Reasons why you support it. I didn't give you a lot of space to write because I don't need a lot of space written there, or not a lot of stuff written there. Just a sentence will do, or even a phrase or two will do. Now, counter-arguments. Counter-arguments are, you're going to pick something from the other side. In this case, it actually might be really helpful for you to pick something from your research, because you want to pick an actual argument people believe. Okay, so that one where it turns out a lot of the scientific things are flawed, might be a really good one to pick, and then you kind of knock it down afterwards. Now, if you do use any sources, you're just going to put it here, just going to tell me where you kind of got your information for each one. But none are required for this part of the essay. Okay, I don't think it's all that helpful. And then finally, a call to action. Call to action is the main kind of meat of your conclusion in this case. In a persuasive essay, you want to tell people what to do. What can they actually go out and do to help your stuff? And so for the violence in video games one, I'm going to have to kind of think on the spot for this one. If you're on the side against video game violence, then maybe you want to, you can call a senator. You can attend a PTA meeting, and let people know. Grand Theft Auto is bad, right? What else could we do? There's all kinds of things that you can actually go out and do just to make people aware. You can make a silly YouTube video, kind of maybe warning parents not to play a certain game or something like that. There's all kinds of things that you can throw in your call to action. It's what can people actually do to help. Okay, I've gone on long enough. Good luck, and if you have any other questions, please email me, and I'll be glad to help you out. Lombardo out.